Another story we're filing this morning. Newly released text messages sent by Chicago's top prosecutor, Kim Foxx, reveal her frustrations with the Jussie Smollett case as it was underway. In messages sent to her staff, the Cook County State's attorney described Smollett as a washed-up celeb who lied to cops. Smollett, as you'll remember, was accused of staging a hate crime against himself. Foxx had recused herself from the case, but her office eventually dropped all 16 felony charges against the actor for the series Empire. CNN correspondent Nick Watt joins me now. Nick, what are we hearing from the state's attorney as these text messages are revealed? Because it raises a fair question here as to how recused the top prosecutor actually was, because she was continued to communicate with her office during the case.
Yes, I mean, Jim, she has put out a statement, and it reads in part, after the incident became public, I reached out to Joe, that's one of her assistants who'd really taken lead on the case. I reached out to Joe to discuss reviewing office policies to assure consistencies in our charging and our use of appropriate charging authority. I mean, what this dump of communications really tells us is we get a little bit of an inkling of what was going on behind the scenes as this huge story was breaking in public and taking shocking and then some unexpected turns. I mean, first there was the shock of the attack that Smollett alleged had taken place on himself, where someone in a MAGA hat had put a noose around his neck, he claimed. Then, of course, the shock that we were told that, in fact, Smollett had staged this attack entirely himself. Then 16 Class 4 felony charges. That was also a shock to people. And then, of course, those charges, all of them dramatically dropped. Now, what we have learned is that perhaps the Cook County State's Attorney's Office wasn't quite prepared for the magnitude of this case, the reaction to the dropping of those charges. Remember, the city was outraged. The police superintendent was outraged. They are now actually suing Jussie Smollett. The city is, to try and get compensation for the investigation. One assistant in Kim Foxx's office on the day those charges were dropped, she wrote, just wish I could have anticipated the magnitude of this response and planned a bit better. And we also do, Jim, get an inkling of why those charges were dropped. Kim Foxx says, you know, I'm recused, but when people accuse us of overcharging cases, 16 counts on a class felony becomes Exhibit A. She goes on, pedophile with 4 victims, 10 counts, washed up celeb who lied to cops, 16. Just because we can charge something doesn't mean we should. Jim?
Nick Watt, thanks very much.
We live in a really nightmare. We live in a really nightmare.